Today I have this thought in my mind. I'm actually reflecting myself on how I got here. And by here I mean having a year off, or maybe 2 years off from work. And I was just reflecting that there are so many people that give advice, financial advice, and they are very good advices. I'm not saying no, and you should follow them. But if you are a little bit like me, you're also thinking, yes, those people are so rich, and then they teach us how to become rich and how to save. But it's easy to say when you have so much money, right? And so I wanted to make this video to say how I managed to save like a normal person. I'm not rich, I don't have a lot of money, and I still wanted to tell you how I did this. I don't need to be a millionaire to tell you how to save $10,000, right? I just needed to have saved myself $10,000. So here am I, reflecting on my journey to 1 year freedom. And no, it's not, I don't have a husband who earns a lot of money and he can cover all our expenses. And actually our income is divided, like, let's say that we both together earn $10,000 per month after taxes. I'm just using those numbers because it's easier to split and to understand the percentages. But let's say for $10,000 in income in the household, my husband makes $5,500 and I make $4,500. And our monthly expenses are $8,000. So we had around $2,000 for savings, which is like 20% of our income. So it wasn't so bad, right? Our invoices, like the house loan and I don't know, like electricity, heating, or whatever, all the invoices that we have, like that we need to pay each month, are like $5,000 per month. And then the rest of $3,000 we used for food and for household expenses, like detergents and maybe new clothes here and there. And from the $2,000 that we had for savings, we used to take some money out for our vacations. Yeah, so this was our situation. So as you can see, reducing $4,500 out of our salary, it didn't mean that it was possible for just my husband to take care of us. So I still needed some money. So I needed at least $2,500, right? Yeah, exactly. But that means no vacations or nothing. So basically, let's say that I needed $3,000 per month extra. So how do I do that? Well, yes, I started saving. The $2,000 per month that we had, I started to save it. So I said, okay, if we save $2,000 per month, in 1.5 years-ish, right, I will have managed to save money to stay home for 1 year, to have a free year. But that means that at the end of that free year, we will have used all our savings. So I thought I need to be saving for at least 3 years and stay home 1 year, or maybe 1.5 years, and you don't know how long you need to get back into the job market. So I needed to have some extra. like a buffer, right, for 1 year to be searching for jobs, and then an extra year just in case. So yeah, it's spring over here. Just started spring, so that's why everything looks so gray. But still you hear the birds, right? The birds are back, yay. I'll just start going back. Yeah, so as I was saying, how did I do it? So first things, I said, well, we should start spending less money. So instead of spending $8,000 per month, let's see if it's possible for us to spend 7,000, for the moment where I'm not going to have an income. So instead of waiting for me to quit my job and start spending only 7,000 per month, I decided to act like we didn't have my income, right? So I started to act already like, let's save money. Let's pay attention on how much money we use for food and for other things. Let's decrease our vacations. Can we still have a nice vacation and spend less money? And the answer is yes. We bought ourselves a tent, so we went camping a lot. We still went to nice places for the kids to have, like different parks with swimming pools and a lot of activities for kids. But instead of sleeping in a hotel room or 2 hotel rooms, because we are 6 altogether, we slept in a tent, which cost 10 times less. So yeah, we started for 2 years pretending like I didn't have an income. And guess what? We managed to save the money needed for me to stay home for 3 years. Of course, I won't do that for 3 years. But we managed to save all the money in less time that we expected. So when the day came and that my bank account, or our bank account, hit the number that we set, that was the day I handed in my resignation. And yes, that's why I'm here. I go for walks every day. I focus a lot on my mental health and on my physical health especially. I'm still recovering from my last pregnancy. And I have time to make videos like this and to reflect. So it is possible. And even if you are a normal person, we have 4 kids. So if you say, oh, I have a lot of kids, I have a lot of expenses, just act like you are poorer than you are, right? So if your income, total household income is 10,000, pretend for a few months that you only have 7,000. What will you do, right? Or if your total household is $5,000, pretend that you have 4,000. One of the good advice that I think that I try to follow is that your mortgage, your house mortgage, and your expenses like car, gas, telephone, internet, and all those bills, insurances, I try to not have them exceed 50% of our total income. But I have to admit, we had moments. Right now, we have it at, not right now, before I quit my job, we had it at 50%. But we also had moments where it was at 60%, and it was a bit tough. I also had moments in my life where it was at 80%. So yeah, that was even tougher. But I see the more I get it down, the percentage, the better our life is. And it's not that you can afford more things, but you just feel less stressed. And I think that's important. So when you want to start saving money, I will not start with, oh, I'm gonna save $1 because I buy a different type of bread. I buy the white bread instead of the healthier version, because then you're saving $1 or $2, $3, $4, $10 per month, right? It's nothing. But look at your bigger expenses. Look at your car. Do you really need such a big car, such an expensive car? Where do you live? Do you really need to live in such a big house or such an expensive area? That's where I would start. And then also go to your day-to-day expenses. How often do you eat out? How often do you have you order takeaways? How much money you spend on clothes? Stuff like that. And it's not easy, right? The first month I started to act like we didn't have my salary. I had to actually sit down, take a piece of paper and a pen, and I went through all my bank accounts and looked and wrote down all the expenses we had that month. Let me just tell you, from now, it was painful, really painful. I couldn't believe how much money we spent on food and eating out or taking takeaways. I was like, what? That much money? Because if you would have asked me, I would have said, no, we don't really eat so much out. Because we have 4 kids, right? You don't want to go with all of them to the restaurants, especially when you have a baby. So, but we did order quite a lot. So yes, write it down and have clarity of where your money are going. Write it down for a few months, 2-3 months, and then see, do you manage to decrease? And if not, why not? What do you need to do? So if you're in a process where you want to have a free year just for yourself, but still have kids to take care, and you don't have a husband who makes enough money to cover for all of you, there is still hope. Even though this walk here doesn't look like there is hope with all this brown. But this is spring, right? This is the beginning. This is where life starts. You can do it.